Is Forex a scam? I've seen a lot of these young kids flexing on social media, talking about how much money they're making Forex trading. And up to this point, I've been highly skeptical and have never looked into it. That was until my friend started doing it and I saw how much he was making. Last time I saw you, you were actually wholesaling me a house.
Yeah, 2 houses in February 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did I sold it to you for 175, and then you gave me 265, and then another house for 210. You gave me 260, so I made 110K with you.
Yeah.
That was our last.
You made 110K. I flipped them.
Yep.
I made over 100K.
Yeah, that was a six-figure deal.
It was a six-figure deal, dude. But what's crazy is I watched you during the pandemic quit wholesaling completely.
Literally the day that Las Vegas shut down, the very next day, I shut everything down. Yeah.
And that was crazy because, dude, I watched you start wholesaling as, a 23-year-old essentially.
Yep.
And I watched you go from starting out under a mentor, mutual friend, to then doing over like 300,000 by yourself, almost pure net profit, low marketing.
Yep.
And I'm like, dude, this guy's on the rise. He's going to be a huge wholesaler. And then you just quit cold turkey.
Yeah, so for me, my journey in wholesaling has been just like a two-man show, right? And I made almost like $1 million in real estate, within that 2 to 3 year span. But when the pandemic hit, I had no idea what was gonna happen. So I was like, okay, let me just pivot right away, then just hold on to hope,
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I didn't spend any money, so I had a lot of money saved. I netted almost 90% of my income over the 3 years.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what, let me just pivot as soon as I could.
So you've always been very risk averse compared to me, where I'm like, let's just roll, baby.
You're all in.
Let's do it.
But it worked out for you because you're probably the only person in the pandemic who went all in, and then what happened?
It paid off well.
It paid off, yeah.
So you went into a whole new industry.
Absolutely.
You found Forex.
Yeah.
How did you find Forex?
So I've been knowing about Forex for 4 or 5 years. I never took it seriously until the pandemic hit, and I have friends who are very successful in it. Now, Forex has such a negative connotation towards it, so I was very hesitant to get in.
Right.
But I have people close to me who are very successful in it. So I knew when the pandemic hit, my main goal was to do something that could free up my time. Because with wholesaling, I was wearing every single hat.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I need to do something that's gonna, alleviate my time, but still give me a lot of profit, more profit than I was making in real estate. I knew Forex had that opportunity too.
Well, you know what's funny is you said Forex has this negative connotation.
Yep.
And for sure, I thought Forex was a complete scam until you told me you were doing it.
Yep.
And because I know you on a deeper level, I'm like, all right, I know he's not lying.
Yep.
It's legit if he's doing it. And it's crazy now looking back at it because almost everything I think is a scam ends up being legit. I thought wholesaling's a scam.
Yep.
It's legit. I thought, e-commerce is a scam.
Yep.
It's legit. I thought, crypto's a scam. It's legit.
Yes.
And Forex is the only one I truly haven't looked into or known somebody that
close to the vest who's actually
that's
doing it, yeah. So to piggyback off of that, yes, there's a lot of people in the industry that leverage the opportunity of Forex to make a lot of money, without good integrity, right? And that's what you probably have heard of that, right?
Right.
For me, I just strictly trade. I'm not trying to sell or oversell anything. I'm not trying to do signups where a lot of people do that. For me, I just strictly trade. So that's what I do, and I've been doing it for full time about 1.5 years now, and I've made more money in 1 year and 9 months of this year than I made ever in wholesale real estate.
It's crazy, dude. So let's talk about Forex from the basic standpoint of what exactly it is. So Forex stands for what?
So Forex is the foreign exchange currency market. It's the biggest market traded in the entire world. So for perspective, in America, the New York stock market, about 257 billion is traded a day. In Forex, 5.1 trillion.
What?
You're talking about world currencies. You're talking about the British pound, the euro dollar, the Japanese yen, the Swiss franc, the Canadian dollar. So every world currency is being traded.
You said 5 trillion?
5.1 trillion.
Versus 270 billion.
257 billion. And
Wow.
that's why it attracted me, because there's more opportunity, it's more volatility, it's not as decentralized, it's not highly manipulated. You know? With crypto, Crypto is a very, very traded market as well. You can make a lot of money in crypto, right? Problem is that it's very, very manipulated.
Yeah.
You know, Elon can tweet something and Bitcoin could go up or go down.
Well,
you know?
I can tell you from having friends in the crypto industry, they know when things are going to go up. You see all these influencers doing the pump and dumps. It's for sure not like a legit market.
Yeah, and I guess it all depends on how you view it, because I have family members who just strictly just hold Bitcoin because they believe in the utility of it. There's people who just literally trade it every single day, make millions, lose millions, and the volatility for me is just not comfortable. Again, I'm risk averse.
Yeah.
You know, with Forex, it's so decentralized, it's very, very hard to manipulate, and that's the reason why I gravitated towards Forex over stocks or options or crypto or NFTs or whatever. You know, Forex is very, very decentralized, so that's why I moved into that industry.
Yeah. So with it being decentralized and with so much trading volume happening, I guess for me, I don't kind of understand what's happening. So if I have a US dollar and I want to go exchange it into yen, is that what people are doing? Just like to do an exchange?
So technically that is a physical form of trading Forex. If you go to another country right now and exchange your US dollars for another currency, you have then participated in the foreign exchange market physically. But what I do is I do it digitally through an app on my phone every single day.
Okay. And you're doing it to catch basically arbitrage in between.
Yeah, so I'm buying and selling. So the way it works is if you whenever you buy a currency, you're kind of selling against its currency pair. So for example, the US dollar is tied to most currencies in the world, right? So if I'm buying the US dollar, I'm selling against another currency pair. So it takes a lot of analysis to figure out, like fundamental analysis, following the economy news in different countries, technical analysis, looking at charts, analyzing every single day to identify really when you should buy or sell.
Right.
You know, and if you're right, you make a lot of money. If you lose, depending on how risk averse you are, you lose a lot of money.
So it sounds like you'd be betting on countries in a sense, right?
Technically, yes. So based on so many factors, though, it's not just one. It's not just a gamble, right?
Yeah.
For me, like the way I trade, you know, I trade strictly based on what's called technical analysis. So based on just understanding how to read and analyze a chart, a currency chart.
Right.
Whereas some people might trade strictly based on news, right? Like a news might come out and it might be beneficial for the country. They might buy that currency that currency, or it might be negative against that currency. It might sell that currency. You know. Yeah. So there's different ways to go about it.
So, random question. What happened to El Salvador's currency since they went to Bitcoin?
So to believe it or not, that's probably one of the worst decisions they could have had. You know, even Bitcoin depreciated like 11% when that news came out. That country is smaller than like states in America. You know, they have a very, very like corrupt government. So like, to me, it's not sustainable. I don't think it's gonna work out. And you saw it in the price fluctuation yesterday. The reason I don't trade Bitcoin is stuff like that.
Yeah,
right?
just it changes so much.
11% drop in an hour.
Yeah.
You know, that can crush people's portfolios.
Yeah.
You know, so for me, I just can't do it.
So one thing you mentioned too is you study charts, you do technical trading, and anytime I've seen these guys make these charts on day trading and crypto, and I'm like, these dudes just drawing random pictures here. Like, how are you predicting this stuff?
So it's called technical analysis. So you have to understand market structure, something called price action, where you're actually looking at the candlesticks and reading the candlesticks. So it's very complex. Forex, you can make a lot of money, you know, and I'm living proof of that. But you can also lose a lot of money. 90% of traders lose in Forex.
Why?
90%.
Why?
And it's not even because of the knowing how to trade. It's the things you can't teach: the psychology, the greed, the FOMO, the lack of confidence, the fear missing out. The people just get too greedy and start gambling in the market, and
they make one good decision, and then instead of keeping maybe the unit, they double down.
For example, like I trade, you know, I risk the same amount every single time, 1% compounded, right? Some people might risk 1%, then 5%, then 3%, then 6%.
They're inconsistent.
It's inconsistent, you know. So
it sounds like me sports betting back in the day.
It's just like sports betting. People might overly risk on one bet, make a lot of money, and then try to leverage that cash, and
you lose, and so you're like, dude, I got to get my losses back. So
It's and that's the thing. Like a lot of people gamble in the forex market, and that's another reason why it has a negative connotation, because it can be perceived as professional gambling.
Right.
For me, I don't see it that way. For me, I look at forex as capital management, risk management, you know, and my risk is always capped at 1%. So if I lose a trade, I'm only losing 1%.
So you have your portfolio, let's just say $1 million. So each trade you're only willing to bet $1,000.
So if I have $1 million in my trading account, right?
Yeah.
I'm risking 1% of that, so that's 10 grand, right?
So I need to check my math, guys.
So
10 grand, yeah.
So 10 grand. So my goal on every trade is to either make 2 to 3% on that money, right? So if I risk 1%, I'm trying to make 2% or 3%, right?
Got it.
So I'm trying to make 20 grand or 30 grand, right? Now, if I follow that strategy, I only have to win 40% of my time to be profitable.
Yeah.
Because if I win 4 trades at 3%, right, 3% gain, I'm gonna end up making 60 grand every 10 trades.
Right.
So I don't have to win every single trade.
Right.
I just have to win 4 out of 10.
Right.
So that's the right way to trade. Right?
Okay.
So people will just literally just risk 1% here, and then 3% the next time, and then 4%, and not get that return to be consistent.
Yeah. So you know what's funny is when you first started trading, you would post on Instagram stories. Like I've been watching you do this for the last year.
Yep.
And you started with a fake dummy account. You didn't risk anything, right? You was just trading, you know, doing your thing. And I remember you'd post, you'd be like, "Yep, this month I was up 30%." Of fake money, but you know your trades would have netted 30%.
Yep.
And then I saw you start actually risking money. How much did you start with?
I started with 10 grand. You know, so when I first demo traded, so it's called demo trading or paper trading, I was doing 10 grand. Why? Because I knew I had 10 grand to risk with real money. So I wanted to make it as
you had a lot more to risk
for sure.
But that was all you wanted to do.
So I wanted to start off with to learn how to trade, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I was making like when I first started trading, I was making like $50 to $100 a day. You know, just and I was happy with that because like I was seeing results. You're seeing results consistently. I didn't care about the money because I knew I could just add more money to my account and that 1% gets bigger.
Yeah.
You know, so for the first 6 to 9 months of 2020, it was like $100 a day.
I know, and I remember watching you make those gains, and I'm the FOMO guy, dude. I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, throw $100 grand in that account.
I remember you telling me like every month, like, balls to the wall, put 100K in there, put 200K in there, and I'm just like, nah, man, I'm gonna stay with 10K for now.
I'm like, dude, you're making 30%. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, nah, I for me again, like my personality and same thing with wholesaling. Like you know me wholesaling, I had only risked 2-3K in marketing costs because I wanted to just be very, very risk averse.
Right.
That's just all I know.
Yeah.
So I applied that discipline to trading, you know.
And so once you built up your confidence, you started to risk more. You know, you had consistent results with a small amount. What did you start risking after that, and where are you at today?
So I put in 200K in my trading account.
Okay.
Right, and then fast forward to now, I'm just shy of $1 million. I'm close to there. Yeah.
So you've almost 5x'd your money.
Yes.
In a year.
Yes.
It's crazy.
There. I'm almost there. Yeah.
And you're still staying consistent.
Very
you know,
consistent.
you're not just being like, all right, let's risk it all now.
Nope.
You know, like
nope.
You're still doing what got you there.
But it's tough because you understand, I was seeing $100 a day. Now I'm seeing, like today I made $2 grand today, right? And now I see 10K days. I made 100K, my first 100K month in April.
Yeah.
You know, so for me, like the money, seeing those large figures, it's tough because again, psychology is such a huge part of it, right? Honestly, 80% of it is psychology. But you know, I have to stay disciplined because the minute you change or deviate from that discipline.
But because luck can get you, you know, you're like, oh, I built it this way, let's double up now, and then all of a sudden you have one bad month.
I have friends who built their account from like as low as 10K to 600K, and they've went back all the way back down to 50K.
Yeah.
And now they're mentally
not the same.
Not the same because they've seen that money completely go away.
That was kind of like my crypto account. It was over 7 figures, and then it was gone. And I said, man,
damn, you know,
I got to bet big.
You know, and that's in ForEx. That's called revenge trading.
Revenge trading.
Revenge trading.
In poker, it's called being on tilt.
See, you know, different terms, but same behavior. You know, and so for me, I just can't do that. I can't afford to do that. I don't want to go back to where I started at. You know, especially I'm so close to my goal.
Somebody wants to start trading today. What's like the first step?
First step is to do research, right? Because Forex is not for everybody. You know, it's not easy. Like I've studied 6 to 8 hours a day for 6 months straight.
Yeah.
You know, in the pandemic. That's how I used my time when nothing was going on, right? My advice, YouTube. Like I use YouTube heavy. You know, before I spent any money on courses and education, I was using YouTube every single day.
Who are some people that you watched?
There's this guy named Rox FX. This guy named Ilya. He's a European trader. This guy named Q.
Okay.
Quillen. I've learned from him as well. I mean, there's so many traders out there that are actually trading. Now there's people out there who are just saying they're trading and then they're just pushing courses, you know?
Yeah.
So you gotta be able to differentiate the two. But
right. That's any industry.
But my advice, if you wanna learn how to trade, to understand like how to get started, like some like foundational, like basic knowledge, go on babypips.com, www.babypips.com, and click school. It's a full free school of 250 courses, and it would literally teach you like the foundationary level of what is Forex, what are you actually doing, how you're buying and selling currencies. That's completely free.
Right.
You know?
So once you learn the fundamentals of how exactly it works, you know, technical analysis and all these things, you get the app, right? What's the app?
MetaTrader 4.
Okay.
MetaTrader 4 is what you use. That's like the vehicle to open and close a trade.
Okay.
You have to have a broker to put your money in. So there's brokers like Oanda, IG Market US, Forex.com.
Okay.
So those brokers are also tied to MetaTrader 4 as well, and that's how you start trading.
Okay. So you get on, you deposit, you use the things that you learned.
Yeah.
You be disciplined, and that's pretty much it.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the easy way to say it, right? Easier
Right.
said than done, right? Because here's the thing, and I think the viewers need to understand, like, it is, if you really take your time with it, right, and really study every day and work hard at it, to me, it could really, really change your life. Like for me, I wake up every single day and I decide what I want to do,
Right.
Because I trade from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. After 8 a.m. comes, my day is free.
Right.
You know, so 3 hours of my time at home in my bed on my laptop. For me, nothing's better than that. To have that time freedom.
Yeah.
You know, because I remember talking to you about it maybe like 2 years ago about like fulfillment, like what's it making me happy, right? And I didn't realize until the pandemic that my happiness is really just controlling my time, like deciding what I want to do every single day.
Yeah.
And Forex has given me that opportunity, you know, and that's why I'm so heavily invested in trying to master that craft.
Yeah. So for a guy like me who wants to get into Forex, dude, I can tell you, I ain't studying charts. I don't want to do that. Nor do I want to go watch this library of all this stuff. Are there not brokers, but people that'll go trade for you? Like, could I just pay you and give you a sack of money and go trade it?
So would I do it? No, I wouldn't. Could I take people's money and go through those hoops and boundaries to properly accept funds from accredited investors? Yes. Would I personally do it? No. And there's many reasons for that. One, the psychology of trading up people's money. I wouldn't want to deal with that. Number one. Number two, there's too many liabilities. If you lose money, you don't want to deal with lawsuits and people being upset and people not, you know, like in any investment avenue. You know, for me, it's just not worth it.
Yeah, I get it. You just really want to focus on how much you make for yourself because you don't have to worry about losing someone else's money.
Exactly.
It's way easier that way. But one thing you do too is you've got your own course and students as well. And
Yeah.
I know you gave all those tons of resources that are free, the YouTube videos and that library, but I got to plug your course because I know a lot of people that are in it. They've
Yeah.
said great things. And I just see the results you've been posting on Instagram, man. It's inspiring.
Yeah, a lot of it's funny because, you know, I get a lot more joy seeing other people like succeed from my teachings. Like one of my students made 10 grand yesterday, you know, $10,000. You know, he started 3 months ago.
Yeah.
You know, so it's inspiring to see people take my guidance and then apply it and see my strategy work for other
multiple
people.
people.
Yeah.
For
So that's
sure.
cool. Yeah.
So what's the plan after, you know, I mean, Forex is making you money right now, but you
Yes.
gonna get back into real estate? Like, what's the deal?
Yeah, so I'm gonna be a millionaire this year. I realize that Forex is a great income, you know, but at the end of the day, real estate is my foundation, you know, and I want to get back into, you know, investing passive. Like I'm investing in your fund, obviously Penny the Capital. We talked about that already.
Yeah.
Buying rentals, you know, just trying to expand, maybe flip some houses again. But of course, you can't just do one thing, you know, especially with Forex where it's so volatile. You got to put your money and park your money elsewhere. That way you can continue to have more streams of income. So that's the plan. Honestly, the plan is just get back into real estate, you know, just get back in real estate the right way, you know, passively.
Well, and that's the thing I love, and this is why I've started this Flip Nation series, is that it's really about finding other ways to make active income, whether it's as a side hustle starting out that makes you an extra $5,000-$10,000 a month, or maybe it becomes your main hustle, and then now you use this main hustle to go diversify into other things like real estate. So I love seeing that you're living proof of that as somebody who's gone multiple directions and really found the niche that's best for them.
And you know, the funny thing is, like, at the end of the day, I started off in real estate, and I've done wholesaling, I've done flipping, I've had one rental that I sold, I went to Forex, but all roads lead back to real estate. You know, it's the one true tried way to be a multimillionaire. You know, over decades, that's the one true tried way. So I would never let that go. You know.
Yeah.
So
for sure, man. Well, I appreciate you sharing your knowledge, dude.
Appreciate
it's been
you, bro.
great. Always good seeing you, man.
Yeah.
And make sure you guys subscribe to the channel for the next Flip Nation video. Peace.